There's a mustache on my face. There's a mustache all over the place. There's a mustache on my face. There's a mustache all over the place. It's getting kinda hairy. It's getting kinda scary. Every time Dick and Harry. Their mustaches are berry. Well, you got the cookie duster. You got the handlebar. You got the Fu Manchu. So straight up, like the saver. There's a mustache on my face. There's a mustache all over the place. There's a mustache on my face. There's a mustache all over the place.
Hey everybody, it's Mr. Greg here, and welcome to this month's Submissions for Smorgie Live. As you can tell, we are coming to you live from the balcony at our house. It's a beautiful night here in Nashville, so we decided to bring the fun outside onto what we call the lanai, because we love the Golden Girls, so this is our lanai. So thank you to everybody who's joining us. Let's go ahead and get started with some housekeeping business. Make sure to head over to the blog and get entered for the giveaway. Tonight we have two amazing sponsors. Our friends at ESGI, who are probably here in the chat, if I had to guess, are giving away a 1-year license for ESGI software. It's one-on-one online assessment for your kids. It's phenomenal software. It saves you tremendous amount of time. I use it almost every day in my classroom. If you haven't checked it out, you need to go to the ESGI software website and check out the software. Use the code B2442 to sign up for your free 60-day trial. And once you sign up, you'll be hooked and you'll never want to get rid of it. And our friends at Alive Studios, who are also here in the chat tonight, have graciously donated their Math Alive software as a giveaway prize. You know how much I love my Letters Alive software in my classroom, and I recently started using Math Alive in my classroom, which is the same augmented reality technology as Letters Alive. The only difference is that Math Alive is slightly more interactive, so the kids can really interact with it on the smartboard or on the computer if you don't have a smartboard. Recently started using Math Alive. Let me tell you, it has taken my math instruction to the next level. It really, truly does bring math alive. There are several videos on my Facebook page of us using Math Alive, and what you really see in that video is how incredibly excited and engaged my kids are when we use that Math Alive software. So a huge thank you to Alive Studios for that awesome giveaway prize. So make sure to head over to the blog, www.thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and get entered. If you must be present in the chat tonight to win. So make sure you stay throughout the whole hour to find out if you have won one of those amazing prizes. And I also want to mention that we are doing something new this summer, and we're very excited about it. I'm very nervous about it, but I'm also very excited about it. We're hosting our very own conference right here in Nashville on Saturday, June 18th. We are doing something. It is it'll be a one-day teaching conference with lots of great ideas and strategies, a make and take. We're providing lunch. June 18th. We're providing.
Sorry.
I'm gonna go over there and hurt him.
My computer's having issues over here.
We're also doing a make and take. We're providing lunch and breakfast. So at the end of tonight's broadcast, we'll talk a little bit more in detail about the conference. And as always, you can get more information on the conference on the Facebook page. All right. So get to the blog, get entered for the giveaways. Everybody give a big shout out to ESGI and the Live Studios for supporting us tonight. And let's get started with questions.
So the first question that we have so far is about Alive Studios, and they want to know if you have a third projector in your room in order to use Alive Studios.
No, I just have one projector. So the when we use it whole group, everybody's using it. And when I'm using the Letters Alive or Math Alive as a center, it's just being projected onto the smartboard, and the kids are using the smartboard and my laptop to use it as a center, either in a group of 2 or 3 or one-on-one. And so it's one of those things that the kids know that if they're not using it, that they'll get a turn either the next day or the next day. So I try to make sure everybody gets to interact with it in centers during the week.
Oh, it actually said 3D projector, not third projector. Sorry about that.
Lord help.
Hey, we're live.
We are. See, welcome. You honestly, you now know that this is truly live. Lord knows what will happen.
They're like, not third,
we're
3D.
we're on the balcony. People are walking by. There's a fire next to me. You never know what's going to happen. No, it is not a 3D projector. The software, when you purchase the kit, comes with a document camera. The software is installed on your laptop, and that's where the 3D comes from. It's not a special projector at all. You get a document camera, the software, you get the augmented reality cards, but everything is on your laptop, so it doesn't require a special projector at all.
And you don't have to have a smart board.
You don't have to have a smart board. You can use just a regular projection screen, and you can use your laptop. But so it requires no special equipment other than what they provide in the kit when you purchase the kit.
Awesome.
Yeah, seriously, it's amazing stuff. Like I still am amazed by what it does, and I don't understand how it works, but it's mind-blowing stuff.
Can you use iPads with them at all?
They're working, and I know Alive Studios is here in the chat, so they can answer this a little bit better than me. I know they're working on storybooks, some augmented reality readers that you will be able to use with your iPads. But as far as the actual Letters Alive and Math Alive software, it's not. It doesn't work on an iPad. And if I'm wrong, Cynthia and LA can let me know.
Yeah, they're in here answering some questions. Okay. So Jackie wants to know about how you keep things interesting throughout the month. She said she knows everyone always asks about stations, but she just wants to know how you keep things interesting.
Just by always trying new things, switching out manipulatives. The great thing about kindergartners and really any early childhood age kids is that we can simply change out manipulatives or change out the smelling markers for a different kind of smelling markers, or bring out some new hands-on materials. And because that their brain loves such novelty, like little things like that to them is mind-blowingly different, and so that helps keep it interesting. And now that we're getting close to the end of the year, we started our alphabet countdown, so we always have something exciting to look forward to every day. So just trying anything new. I'm always looking for new ideas on Pinterest and blogs, and just trying to find new things. And I use this end of the year, these couple of months at the end of the year, to try out some new things that I've seen, like on Pinterest, and I might be like, I wonder if that would work, or I might be curious about that. And so now I know my kids well enough, and we're very comfortable. So I'll try things that I've been scared to try throughout the year. And so it's a great lesson for me and the kids. But just try to bring in and find little new things. Turn on some music and dance. I read somebody on Facebook today, they were doing cartwheels in their classroom today for a few minutes. So just have some fun. It's the end of the year. Let's cut loose a little bit, have some fun, be silly and goofy, throw on a costume, bring in some cookies and cupcakes, and just have fun.
Casey wants to know if you have any kinders and chapter books for guided reading, or do you have any recommendations?
For guided reading, I know some people have done Junie B. Jones with their kindergartners. And I know some people don't like Junie B. Jones because of some of the grammar and stuff, but you can try Junie B. Jones. Last year I did Magic Treehouse with one of mine who was a higher reader, and he loved it. So that's one that you could look at. Trying to think of a couple of others. They have some of the early chapter books, like the early reader chapter books, that you could try those. For read alouds, I've done Charlotte's Web as a chapter book read aloud with my kindergartners for years, and they love that. So that's something you could consider also.
Alice says that she recently switched to a more center-based classroom. Hippopotamuses.
Hippopotamuses.
She tried the unfinished work basket, but the kids were constantly forgetting what they had in there. Do you run into this?
So the way that it works in our classroom is that they have to check that basket first, no matter what. So even if they say, I don't have anything in there, they have to check that unfinished work basket first. And so even if they don't have anything in there, that's fine, but they need to go check it because they're going to forget from day to day what's in there, what's not in there. So make it that procedure that they have to check that unfinished work basket first. And then that will kind of eliminate them forgetting that they have stuff in there.
Farron wants to know if you have any suggestions for accelerating a group of firsties that are reading significantly above grade level. One is reading at 4th grade level.
Wow. That's amazing. Really, chapter books. I love the Magic Treehouse books because they're accessible to our kids at this level. But there's also enough rigor in there and enough substance that we can really dive deeper into some research and some writing. So maybe work with Magic Treehouse. And what I did with Magic Treehouse last year, my friend Matt Sutton at Digital Divide and Conquer has some great no prep PBL, project-based learning units. And so I used several of his PBL units to go along with the Magic Treehouse books. So we were doing, not only were we doing the Magic Treehouse chapter books, but we were doing the research and the writing to really kind of to dive in a little bit deeper. So not necessarily pushing them to read further, but really working on diving deeper into the text.
A lot of people are saying they've lost connection to the video.
It still says it's live on our end.
Now people are saying it's back.
See? Live TV. Told you never know what's going to happen. We should have stayed inside.
Right. Okay, so can you talk a little bit about your countdown from Z to A that you're doing in your classroom right now?
So we started, we've done this for years in our classroom, and it's kind of our way of celebrating the end of the school year. So we start 26 days before the end of the school year, and we do a countdown. So we count backwards from Z to A. We started yesterday with Z. And so for each day, we have some kind of activity. Most of them are very simple, very easy little activities. So yesterday was Z. So we made zebras, and we made colorful zebras, and you can see pictures of those on the Facebook page. Today was Y, so it was yellow. So everybody wore yellow today. So you can go to the blog and search for Alphabet Countdown, and it'll pull up the blog post that has the list of what we do for every day. And so just simple little activities every day. We celebrate the letter. And my kids, we kicked it off yesterday, and I told them, when we get to A, that's it. We're done. Kindergarten is over. You're moving on to 1st grade. No more Mr. Greg. You got to move on. You'll be ready for 1st grade. They didn't like that at all. But we're having a lot of fun with the countdown. And again, it's a good way to bring in a lot of fun here at the end of the year and keep them excited and engaged. So you can find that whole list on the blog. Lots of fun stuff. Like on C, we do cookies and crazy hair. God forbid, let me tell you, last year on Crazy Hair Day, I wrecked my Jeep. Had to go to the hospital with glitter hair. So this year, I think I'm going to Uber to work on Crazy Hair Day. But we do cookies, and the kids all bring in a different kind of Oreo, and we graph our favorite Oreos. For D, we actually fry donuts in the hallway. So lots of fun, different little activities to celebrate the end of the year.
Would you say it's better to go from Z to A or A to Z for the countdown?
Well, in my opinion, we're doing a countdown, and to me, that's backwards. So we're counting down, just like we would count down from 10 to 0. So since we're counting down to the end of the year, we go backwards from Z to A. And so it's a great way, if you really think about it, it really bookends our school year because we start the year with our alphabet, our ABC boot camp. So we go A to Z, and now we're ending the year doing our alphabet countdown going Z to A. So in my mind, in my opinion, and the way I look at it is it's a countdown, and so it should go Z to A. And it's just fun to count down and count backwards.
So how do you get the courage to get rid of your tables in your classroom?
I read about it, and I just said, I'm doing it. And so I didn't think about it. I didn't really process it. I didn't drag it on. I decided to do it. I went to school, told the principal I wanted to do it, and we got rid of the tables. I really honestly just took the leap and went for it. I was terrified because I was like, this could go really, really well, or this could go really, really bad. Luckily, it went really, really well, and it has continued to go really well. And so if you're thinking about going no tables, no desks, or even going flexible seating, just make that leap. Because if you dwell on the what ifs and, this could happen, or, oh, what about this and what about this, you'll never do it. So just make that leap and just dive in. And if you want to dive in and just by putting your little pinky toe in, you can do that. But when you're trying to go outside of the box and make that kind of a leap, just make the leap. It's like ripping off the Band-Aid.
And you can also go to the blog, thekindergartensmorgasbord.com, and just type in no tables, no chairs. And you'll see the blog post about that and all kinds of research there. And there's a video of Mr. Greg's classroom, so you can kind of get more of an idea if you want more information about it. So Michelle said she would like to hear some about centers because she'd like to have more in her room. So what are some musts that she should do?
Well, so that could go a lot of ways. So let me tell you, I have 5 centers that go in my classroom. So for literacy, I have our tubs. We have Write the Room. We have listening. We have technology and read to self. So, those really kind of cover everything. You definitely need Write the Room. It's the easiest center to set up. You really just need some paper and a pencil. The kids can just walk around the room and write words, or they can open books and write words. Read to self is another easy one to set up. You just need books, and the kids get a book and they read. It helps to have some stuffed animals. They can read to the stuffed animals. But you really want some hands-on stuff. So magnetic letters, letter tiles, where they can build words and manipulate letters. Same with math. We do Math the Room. So they're writing around early in the year, they're writing numbers. And then as the year goes on, we add in counting, so they're counting the room. And again, you want magnetic letters or numbers and number tiles and lots of manipulatives and counters so they can manipulate the counters and get really hands-on. So I don't know, Michelle, maybe you can be more specific. Like, are you talking about activities, or are you thinking like what centers you need? So like I said, we have 5 literacy centers, and then math, we have our math baskets, Math the Room, technology, and 10 frames and graphing. And so those are the centers that I've had in my classroom for 7 years now, and they work great. My kids love them. I love them. They're easy to maintain. They're easy to set up and get going. They're easy for the kids to use. So those are the centers that I have going in my classroom. If you want more specifics, you can say something in the chat. You can also check out the blog. I have lots of posts about centers and what we do in our centers and what they look like and how we manage them. So you can also check those out.
There's also a video on YouTube.
Yeah, there's several videos on YouTube of our centers and what it looks like when the kids are actually doing all of them.
Do you have any pushback from parents about community supplies?
Nope. I've not had any issues at all with no tables, no desks, and community supplies. I'm very upfront with the parents at the beginning of the year, and I explain the reasoning behind community supplies. It builds community. It helps us be better friends, be a better family. It promotes respect of the materials. It promotes sharing. And that peer pressure to take care of the things means parents have to buy less supplies because less stuff is getting broken and destroyed. So just be upfront. Parents are on board. If you're honest with the parents, let them know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it's going to benefit the kids. They're going to support it and be on board.
So Michelle says she's looking more for activities.
Okay.
What types of activities does she
So let's talk about a couple of must-have literacy activities. You need some word building, whether that's CVC words, CVCE words, sight words. Have some word building materials. It can be as simple as writing sight words on index cards and giving them magnetic letters, and they build the word and then they write it on their paper. So you want some word building where they can manipulate those letters and work on manipulating the sounds and making the words. You need some type of writing. So a quick, simple literacy activity for writing is go to Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot and ask for some paint sticks, like the wooden paint sticks that you stir the paint with. They'll give you some. One side's going to be printed on, so flip it over, it'll be blank. And what I do is I write simple sight word sentences. So I like the, and then a blank. And then I get out some little picture cards, and the kids make silly sentences. So it might be a picture of a tree. So it would say, I like the tree. And so then they write the sentence. So you need something where they're doing some writing. And you can find that activity on my blog also. For math, again, you're going to need lots of numbers, counting, building sets. So you can simply put out number cards and manipulatives, and they just have to count. What I do is I had a bunch of those shape notepads from the parent-teacher store. So I stuck those on cardstock, wrote numbers on them, laminated them, throw those in a center. The kids pick one. It says 11. They count out 11 counters. Super easy. No cost to me because I had the pads laying around. You need a lot of that. I do a lot of 10-frame cards. So I make the 10-frame cards each month, and then the kids use the manipulatives to count. So lots of number counting type things. Really, you want hands-on activities where they can manipulate stuff. Adding. I found Post-it notes that had the addition equations on them. Bottom cost me $1. Stuck them on an index card, laminated them, dry erase marker, and some manipulatives. You have a simple addition center. Then I found the subtraction Post-it notes, and I did the same thing. Dominoes, if you can get a hold of some dominoes, those are great for counting and adding and subtracting. I have some dominoes. I bought the color dominoes. The kids, they can write how many dots. I made I got some colored paper. I wrote 1, 2, 3 to 12. The kids get the dominoes, they count the dots, and they put the dominoes on the right number. I said, write the room. You could post your sight words. You can, again, index card, a marker, super simple. Or you can go on TPT and you can buy one of my units, and there's going to be write the room for plants. And so you could have thematic write the room. So I hope that gives you some ideas. You really want, again, if you're looking to get started, you want some, the neighbors are home. You want some hands-on things where they can manipulate the letters and numbers.
All right. Moving on from centers, we've got some more questions coming in about centers, but we'll try to do what we did last time, which was new for us, where we kind of did a blast to get through all of the questions.
The lightning round.
Yeah, the lightning round, where I just throw out the questions and Greg answers them really quickly. We'll do that toward the end. So if we haven't answered your question yet, just hold tight with us, and I'm compiling those, and we'll get to those. Real quick, if you have not entered for the giveaway yet, please go and do so. Just go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. You'll see the link right there as soon as you go to the blog. Just click on the link. You only have to enter once. That enters you for both ESGI and the live studios. You have until 15 till 8, 15 until the hour to enter. So you've got about, 40 minutes left?
Yeah.
No, 20 minutes left.
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes left. So if you haven't done that, hop over and do that right now. So someone wants to know, I didn't get the name, but they want to know if your school is tied to a specific series that you're required to use. Wanting to know if anyone here trying to do a math rotation type day, yet still have to incorporate the series.
So our district uses Journeys for reading and Go Math as our math series. We're a huge district. We have 85,000 kids, 140 schools. So it's it varies from school to school based on what your principal wants and what your principal expects. I'm very lucky that my principal doesn't expect us to use the series, except we can use it as a resource. So I know some teachers in our school use it. I do not. I don't use either the reading or the math series. But I think if you have to use the math series, I think you can use the math series as your mini lesson. And I know a lot of the series now come with some centers and some manipulatives, so you could use those as part of some of your rotations. But I'm lucky that I don't have to use the curriculum that we have.
What do you do for your listening center?
I have 4 personal CD players, and so I buy every month on Scholastic for $20. You can get 4 books on CD. And so that's what I use. And so the kids can get the CD players are put in a little crate from the Dollar Tree. And I have some Velcro on the CD player and on the box. So the CD players are Velcroed into the box. And so the kids carry the box and the book is in the box. And so they just grab that and off they go. And they can sit wherever they want in the room and they can listen to the book. So that's the easiest way. And I know that eventually I'm not going to be able to replace my personal CD players. So somebody, as in the mister, is going to have to start converting those CDs to MP3s at some point.
Fun. What is the QU wedding in your alphabet countdown?
So QU wedding is really what it sounds like. The letters Q and U get married, because we know that you never see the Q without the U. And so on Q day, we have a little Q and U wedding. The kids all dress up. I pick somebody to be Q. I pick a boy to be Q and a girl to be U. And So all the boys wear Qs, little Q signs, and all the girls wear little U signs, and they walk each other down the aisle, and then we have a little ceremony where Q and U get married, and then we celebrate with cupcakes or cake, and we always decorate with flowers, and we even make a whole list of QU words. And so it's just a fun little lesson activity that helps them remember that anytime they're going to write Q, they're going to write U. We always have a lot of fun with it. The kids love it. They giggle. Last year, my girls all brought tissues and pretended to cry at the wedding. So they get really into it. It's a lot of fun.
Can you talk a little bit about ABC Boot Camp? We've got a lot of people in the chat that started talking about it, saying how much they love it, how they're going to continue it, and they're going to be doing it again next year. Just talk a little bit about what that is.
All right, so ABC Boot Camp is something I started 2 years ago, and we, as a team, we decided that we wanted to get through the letters and the sounds a lot quicker than we were, and what our pacing guides had us doing, because it was December and January, and we were still introducing sounds, and we knew that if we could speed that up, that our kids could really start working on building words and word families, which would only make them better readers and writers. And so we do ABC Boot Camp. We start the first Monday of the first full week of school, and we do all 26 letters in 26 days. So it's a letter a day for 26 days. We start with A, and we go straight through to Z. We do handwriting. We do a circle map of the letter and sound. We make a silly hat. And at the end of boot camp, we celebrate with a fashion show where the kids get a vest with a letter, and they decorate their vest with pictures for that letter, and then we get to walk the runway. So on TPT, I have 3 different ABC Boot Camp creations that you can get that has everything that you're going to need in there. And you can also go over to the blog, and you can search for ABC Boot Camp, and you'll find several posts about how we do boot camp and the fashion show and why it works and how much we love it. And there's actually a ton of research that supports doing a letter a day. So it's research-based, it's brain-friendly, it's a great way to kick off your school year. And after 26 days, the kids know the letters and sounds, and so you move on to word families and CVC words, and you've already, 26 days in, you're already working on reading. And then we continue to review the letters and sounds every day as part of our morning literacy routine. And of course, the kids are working on them in centers, and we're doing them in small groups. So it's 26 days, and then daily review from then. Seriously, boot camp is amazing. We have a blast with it. It's such a fun way to kick off the school year. And the kids get really excited. And I use Letters Alive from Alive Studios as part of my boot camp. And so for every letter, we got to have the augmented reality where the animal for each letter comes alive on our smart board and introduces the sound. So that just made it even more fun in our classroom.
Computer's frozen, just one moment.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just remind you to go on to the blog, get entered for the giveaway. You have about 15 minutes, and you do have to be present in the chat if you are selected as the winner.
All right, next question. Do you have any classroom management tips for kinders in the last month of school? She's a first-year teacher, and they're great in the classroom, but have come unglued in the hallways this past week.
Here's my thing about the hallways, and really any procedure or routine in general. If they're not doing it right, we stop. And if we're in the hallway, we stop. And if we're close enough to the classroom, we go back into our classroom, we talk about it, and we fix it. We don't go on if we're not doing it correctly. Because I don't want to reinforce that it's okay to do it wrong. And it's okay that if we're not doing what we're supposed to do, we're just going to keep on going. So if you're in the hallway and they're not getting it together, stop and stand there until they get it together. And if you're late to the computer lab, sorry, that wasn't my choice. So if, and just constant reminders of what's expected, what the procedures are. Today, I bet 10 times today when we sat on the carpet, I said, where are your hands? Where are you looking? What's in your mouth? Same thing in the hallway. Before we walk out that door, I'm like, are you facing forward? Do you have a ducktail? Do you have a bubble? Remember your quiet feet. Remember that you're facing forward. So just constant reminders of what's expected of them. And if they're not doing it to your expectation, stop, talk about it, fix it, and then go on.
Does the rest of the school have no tables and desks just like kindergarten?
Nope, it's just me. I'm the only one in my building that is no tables, no desks. Several teachers are talking about moving to flexible seating next year. And that's the thing. I know no tables, no desks is kind of the extreme. It's very out of the box. But if you don't want to go all the way no tables, no desks, you can go with flexible seating. So you can give the kids a lot of choice. And where they sit, you can have bean bags and bath mats and wobble stools. You can lower your table so they can sit on the floor and work at a table. You can raise your table with the bed risers from Walmart for $10 and have standing tables. It's not so much about the options that they have. It's more about the choice and giving the kids the control of where they sit and how they sit. If they want to lay down, let them lay down. If they want to stand up, let them stand up. If they want to stand on their head and do their work, let them stand on their head. It's a mind shift for us as teachers because we're giving up that control and giving it to the kids. And I promise if you give up some of that control, you will gain a lot more control back. So give them the choice. So if you're scared to get rid of all of your tables and desks, you can at least you can go flexible seating and give them lots of choices about where they sit and let them have some control.
How does the penmanship work on the floor?
It's great because research tells us that if kids lie on their stomachs and do handwriting, their handwriting actually improves because laying on the floor forces them to use their muscles more effectively. So their handwriting is actually better. And so I've noticed an improvement in handwriting. And here's a little handwriting secret that I learned a few years ago. Have your kids do the monkey bars. The monkey bars build the strength in their hands, and so it improves their handwriting. And so if I have kids that have some really bad handwriting, I make sure that they go across the monkey bars at least once a day, just so it's building that strength in their hands, which will improve their handwriting.
What's a ducktail?
Hands behind your back.
Several people asked that.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. Several people like,
ducktails and bubbles. So our hands are behind our back and a bubble's in our mouth. And I know a lot of the kids are like, oh, my mouth is tired from the bubble. So we talk about you don't have to necessarily have a bubble. You just have to have a quiet mouth. And then some kids don't want to put their hands behind their back. So if your hands are in your pocket, that's okay. But I want their hands somewhere so they're not touching everything and everybody. And so ducktail, hands behind your back.
So we have a teacher that's moving schools next year, and she knows that you moved recently. Mm-hmm. Any tips for organizing a big move?
Get rid of stuff. I got rid of a lot of stuff and left a lot of stuff behind, including lots and lots of glitter. I still hear from the teacher who moved into my classroom, and they waxed a lot of glitter into the floor when they waxed this summer. So she loves that. When you pack, try to label the boxes and pack in a very organized way. So like I had a couple of boxes for all of the stuff that went in my guided reading area, and I labeled it guided reading. When I moved my books, I actually did not unpack them. I have them all in ice cube bins from Walmart. And so I left them all in those bins and just moved the bins instead of putting them all in boxes and moving boxes. So really it's about labeling and just kind of sorting as you go. So you don't have boxes of random stuff. You've got, boxes of things that go in your desk or in your guided reading area. You've got boxes of math manipulatives. You've got boxes of art supplies. You've got, your boxes of glue and your regular supplies. And so label the boxes first and kind of think about what you have and where stuff will go in your room. It's like I had cabinets, and so I knew all of the stuff in the cabinets in my old classroom would go in the cabinets in my new classroom. So I kind of packed all of that stuff together because I knew it would all go in the same area. So I kind of packed by areas and labeled the boxes by those areas, so I kind of knew where everything went when I went into the box. And then, of course, I had like 6 boxes of just random stuff because it's the end of the school year and you just want it done and you're just throwing stuff in boxes just to get it done. But get rid of stuff. And if you don't want it, leave it behind or donate it to somebody else. But I purged a lot of stuff in my 2 moves, and I'm very thankful that I did.
Do you have any EAs or parents helping in your classroom?
Nope, just me. No aide, no parents. So it's just me and 18 or 19 kids, depending on the day.
What's your cleanup song?
The cleanup song is actually the song that you heard right at the beginning of the live show. It's called Mustache from the Funky Monkeys. And so somebody on YouTube actually told me about the song 2 or 3 years ago. And so that is our cleanup song. And so when that song comes on, the kids know it's cleanup time, and they know that they have about 3 minutes to get cleaned up and be ready.
Let's go ahead and talk about the conference. I know we said we were going to do that at the end, but we've had several questions about it already. So,
all right. So
first question is, what are the sessions going to be? And then secondly, are we going to provide a certificate for those that want to renew their license?
So we're doing a one-day teaching conference here in Nashville on Saturday, June 18th. It's an all-day conference. There are going to be 4 sessions. We're doing reading rituals and routines, a smorgasbord of math strategies, a compilation of classroom management tips and tricks, and centers and workstations management. And we're also doing a make and take at the end. So the make and take is going to be after the session on centers, everybody's going to get a chance to make their own center wheel. Everything is provided that day. Breakfast, lunch, all of the materials for the make and take are provided. And we are providing a certificate so that you can take that back to your administration and get your professional development hours. So there is a certificate being provided.
So to sign up for that conference, all you've got to do is go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com, click on Schedule Me. There you'll find all the information you need to register. Just click on the picture. It's going to take you to a brochure. It's going to tell you where the hotel is, which is just right outside of Nashville. And
about 10 minutes from downtown.
Right off the interstate, very convenient. They've got a room. They've got some rooms blocked off for us there. It's my understanding that they're almost full if they're not full already. But there's several other hotels right there in the area. The brochure is going to give you details as to what the sessions are, what time they're going to start, when lunch is, when breakfast is. It just outlines the entire day for you, as well as a link on how to register. You can pay right there online via credit card. You can pay by check, or you can pay by invoice. You can choose any of those 3 options.
So we do purchase orders. So if your school is paying for it, that's okay too. We're about halfway full. So make sure that if you're thinking about it, to go ahead and get registered before we fill up. So yeah, it's on the blog, the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. At the top, there's some tabs. Click on the tab that says Schedule Me, and the brochure and all of the information is there. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. We're working with a lot of sponsors to try to get a lot of fun giveaways and freebies for everybody. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. We're working on a fun idea for the lunchtime so that you get some networking time and some time to share and collaborate with other teachers. You're going to walk out with your own center wheel. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out.
If you have any more questions, be sure to ask them here in the chat, and I'll make sure that they get answered before I leave the chat session tonight. So just hang tight. If you have more questions, put them in the chat, and I'll get them answered for you. All right, let's get back to the questions. So there's only 7 minutes left to enter for the giveaway. If you haven't done that, you need to go to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com right now and enter. One time is all you have to enter. Just enter your email address. That's going to enter you for ESGI and Math Alive.
Yeah. So ESGI is giving away a 1-year license for ESGI, which is the online assessment. That's a $200 value. And our friends at Alive Studios are giving away their amazing Math Alive software, which I use in my classroom. And you can go to my Facebook page and see several videos of us using Math Alive and see how effective it is with the kids. And quickly, I will say one of my favorite activities is the greater than, less than activity with Math Alive. And so we talk to when I teach greater than, less than, I introduce the idea of the greater gator, and he always eats the bigger number. So in Math Alive, the kids, it shows 2 numbers. The kids get to pull down the correct symbol, and then the alligator swims back and forth on the bottom, and he jumps up and eats the bigger number. It's so much fun. It's really a great way to reinforce that concept, and the kids just absolutely go crazy for that. You can actually see that video on my Facebook page. You can also get Letters Alive and Math Alive on Donors Choose if you want it for your classroom. Seriously, it's a must-have for every classroom.
All right, getting back to our questions. We were talking about songs a minute ago. She says she needs to incorporate more songs in her classroom. What would you recommend?
Harry Kindergarten on YouTube has great songs. He has all kinds of songs, not only for teaching reading and math skills, but he has great ones for following directions. He has a series of songs called If You're a Kid, and they're always like holiday or seasonal themed. And so it's like, if you're a boy, do this. If you're a girl, do this. So great following directions. Jack Hartman, we use a lot of Jack Hartman songs. Dr. Jean has great songs. I have a couple of blog posts about using music in the classroom, so you can check those out. I recently did a blog post about a class theme song, and there's several ideas for using a class theme song. And I've also, on the blog, I've shared my playlist. And so in the morning when my kids are coming in, we have a big playlist that's shuffling, and so we're playing a lot of Kids Bop. We're playing Taylor Swift. We've got Hanson with Bop going on. We've got Katy Perry. We've got some Lady Gaga. And so we're playing in the mornings. I've got the music up, and we're thumping, and we're having a good time as the kids arrive, because I want them to get pumped and excited. But Harry Kindergarten and Jack Hartman are my go-to music for reading and math skills.
What are spider push-ups? Did you mention that?
I have no idea what spider push-ups are.
Somebody must have mentioned that in the chat. I put it in here, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't something you had talked about. I didn't remember you saying anything, but
well, I don't like spiders, so I ain't gonna do spider push-ups.
Parish Kinders, yes. Greg will be at KTOT, Kindergarten Teachers of Texas, this year.
In October?
In November. November 12th.
I'll be in Texas a lot this year. I'm also doing the SDE Kindergarten Conference in Texas in February.
So Shannon says that she's watched some of your live feeds, and she hears a bell-like noise go off in your room.
Yes.
What is that, and what's it for?
That is a wireless doorbell, and that is our quiet signal. So you go to Walmart or Lowe's or Home Depot for about $10 to $15. You can buy a wireless doorbell. It plugs into any standard plug-in, and then the bell, which would normally be mounted at the door, I hot glue that on a clothespin and clip it on. So I wear the button all day. And so anytime I want my kids to get quiet or I need their attention, I just ring the bell. And so, of course, at the beginning of the year, we've practiced that procedure, and so they kind of know what to expect. So that's our quiet signal. So instead of clapping or singing or doing a call and response, which in my mind makes a lot more noise, I just ring the doorbell. It's a soft chime, and the kids stop. They put their hands in their lap. They look at me. So that's the chime or the bell that you always hear in our live videos.
Do you send stuff home to have parents make as a way of involvement?
To make as in like art projects?
I assume, yes.
We do a few home projects at the beginning of the year. We do our hopes and dreams. So I send home a letter, and the parents write back with what they hope that their kids will learn in kindergarten, and the kids write what they want to learn, and we turn that into a giant puzzle, so all of the pieces fit together. You heard me talk about the ABC Boot Camp fashion show. So that vest goes home as a home project. We do the disguise a turkey that goes home as a project. I think we do a couple of other things in the spring too. And then like the alphabet countdown. Most days are things that we provide or I provide. But there are days where the parents get involved and the kids have to dress in certain colors or wear the hat or the sunglasses. So we're always trying to involve the parents as much as possible. But we do send home, not frequently because I don't want the parents to get burned out. I don't want them to feel pressured. But we do send home projects to get them involved and keep them engaged in what's happening in the classroom.
When you finish boot camp, do you move on to blends and digraphs?
We don't. We go from boot camp, then we go to word families and CVC words. And then we do CVCE words, and then we do blends and digraphs. And so we've been working on blends and digraphs for the past couple of weeks. But we go from the letters and sounds of ABC Boot Camp to word families just because it's kind of a natural progression to get them to start reading and writing.
So what are some of the activities that you use for guiding reading, and do you follow a certain program?
We do not follow a certain program. You can go to my blog and you can download my planning template. And so 95% of my guided reading time is spent reading. Because everything else I can do with the kids, I can work with them in their centers. But really my guided reading time, I really want to do as much reading with them and working on some decoding strategies. But really I'm just reading. And so I'll quickly go through what we do. So for each book, we do an introductory statement. So I'll say, this story is about different kinds of tongues that animals have. We'll do a quick picture walk. And we might do a quick, there are a couple of tricky words in the story, I might say, hey, go to page 8 and find this word. So we'll kind of know what the tricky word is. And then the kids are just reading. We're talking a little bit about comprehension. We're doing some decoding strategies. And then at the end, we might do a quick writing where we do a sentence frame or do a little bit of word work with sight words or blending and segmenting our sounds. But really that guided reading time, really I'm just reading with my kids and doing a little bit of decoding strategies and a little bit of writing. And you can go to the blog. I have my planning template and I have how I organize guided reading. I've got a couple of videos of our guided reading lessons, so you can check those out. And I use, I guess I kind of told a fib because we don't have a program, but I use Reading A to Z, the website Reading A to Z. That's where I get all of my guided reading books. What I like about it is there are tons of books for every level from pre-A to beyond Z. You can download the books, you can project the books. So that's a great website. And I also like that for each level, it has 2 benchmark books. So you can very easily do informal running records to see how much your kids grow.
What is your behavior management system?
I use a couple of things. So we do a clip chart. I know some people don't. Some people are very against that, but we use the clip chart. It works for us. My kids love it. The parents love it. It makes parent communication easy. The kids have really loved it. And we also use, we have 5 rules. Pretty simple in our class from whole brain teaching. Follow directions quickly. Raise your hand for permission to speak. Raise your hand for permission to get up. Make smart choices. And rule number 5 is the most important rule of all. Make your teacher happy. And rule number 5 covers everything. Because if I'm not happy, something's not going right and we need to fix it. So we've got 5 rules and we've got our clip chart. But really, it's more about the expectations, the procedures, and the relationships. I think the key to classroom management is building relationships with your kids. You've got to love them. You've got to respect them. If you want them to love you and respect you, really build the relationships, and classroom management will be a lot easier. Clip chart, no clip chart rules, no rules. None of that matters if you don't have that relationship. And keep them busy. The busier they are, the less trouble that they can get into.
How do you assess penmanship?
We don't assess penmanship, like it's not a grade. We do a lot of explicit instruction at the beginning of the year. During ABC, just formally throughout the year, as I see the kid writing and where I'm always going back and modeling it. And my kids know if they come to me and that handwriting is sloppy, I'm going to make them erase it and do it again. So I don't formally assess it. We explicitly teach it at the beginning. And I use chalkboards and chalk at the beginning to help them with handwriting because the friction builds muscle memory. So I don't assess it formally, but it's something we work on all year long. Formally, explicitly at the beginning and then informally throughout the rest of the year.
Do you do parent workshops at all for how to keep their child up, how to help their child with homework, reading, math, etc.?
We do every quarter at my school. We do kindergarten. We do a parent meeting, and so it's one night after school. The parents come in and kind of talk about what we're doing, what's coming up for the next 9 weeks, and then we talk about homework and things the parents can do. So we do those parent meetings every 9 weeks at our school. We also do parent morning meetings every quarter. And so one Friday during morning time, the parents are invited into our classroom to participate in our morning meeting.
I'm having connectivity issues here. I don't know if anyone else is, but my video keeps going blank.
It's all good on my end.
Good.
From what I can tell, it says live, connected to the internet, got viewers.
Yeah, it shows 194 people viewing.
The bugs are coming to get
People are
me.
saying it keeps cutting off and on. That's what mine keeps doing too. All right, we've
Probably
got 10
YouTube.
minutes left. Should we go ahead and do a giveaway?
Yeah, and then let's give away ESGI. Then we can do the lightning round.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to give away ESGI. So ESGI is a online assessment tool. It's one-on-one. So you literally sit down at your computer with the child. You pull up the assessment and you click, let's say they're doing sight words. If they read the word, it's yes. If they don't, you click no. You click through it. You're done in a minute or two. You've assessed sight words. You've got immediate data, so you can see how they did. You can send home a letter to parents and say, hey, I tested sight words. They got these right. They missed these. Then you print off a set of personalized flashcards to send home. They practice what they missed. There are thousands of pre-made assessments on ESGI covering all of the standards, all of the skills. You can make your own assessments. You can use assessments that people in your district have created. So it saves tons of time and paperwork for assessment. What I love about it is that if I'm curious about how my kids are doing with adding, I can pull them over one day, and in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I can assess them on adding and see how we're doing and kind of see where I need to work on our instruction. And that's what I love about it. It provides such easy, quick, accessible, real-time assessment data. Really can help me hone in my instruction and fill in the gaps that my kids have. And it saves tons of time. And so you can go to the ESGI website, and you can sign up for a 60-day free trial and use the code B2442 when you sign up. Trust me, once you try it, you will be hooked. And what I love about ESGI, not only do they have this great, amazing product, but they're an amazing company, and they love teachers, and they want to support us, and they want to help us. They're great friends of ours. They were actually at my school yesterday doing some filming, and so in the coming months, you'll get to see a lot of teachers from my school on their website. So definitely check it out. Sign up for the 60-day trial using the code B2442 to give it a shot, and let's see who the lucky winner is.
All right, tonight's lucky winner is Andrea Kries.
Andrea Kries.
Yes.
Spell that again.
K-R-I-E-S.
K-R-I-E-S. Andrea, if you're here in the live chat, quickly say something to Jason so that we know you're here and that we can get you your prize. And congratulations, Andrea. Andrea Kries. And she might cry tears of happiness that she won. You never know. It's pretty awesome, I'm telling you.
She has a pretty cool email address too. It is TNBallsGirl08.
Oh, it's Tennessee girl.
From Tennessee.
Y'all, seriously, the bugs are going to get me. They're getting bigger and bigger, and they're going to carry me away.
Andrea, if you're here, please say something.
Andrea Kries, are you here in the chat? Quickly say something to Jason.
Everyone's giving her all types of congratulations.
You want to go ahead and do the lightning round while we're waiting on Andrea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Although it's hard for me to do that and see if she answers me.
Well,
here.
we'll wait then.
Yeah, let's give it just a second. Oh, she did. I didn't see her.
Oh,
let me look
yay.
for her. Oh, there she is. Yay.
Yay. Congratulations, Andrea.
So we will shoot you an email, and ESGI will be in touch with you on how to claim your free year. All right. Let's get to the lightning round. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask the question. Mr. Greg's going to answer it quickly, and we're going to move on to the next question.
I think we should make the Mr. answer all of the questions.
I learned from these questions. I don't know the answers to them.
All right, let's go.
Okay, question 1. How do you handle a student who keeps stealing?
Talk to the parents, talk to the admin, and make a big deal about how much it hurts your feelings. Sometimes I think we forget to let the kids know that we have feelings, and if you're stealing our stuff, it hurts our feelings, and it hurts the other kids' feelings, and if you steal all of our stuff, we're not going to have nothing to learn and nothing to play with, and so stop stealing our stuff.
Do you use Daily 5 as your centers?
I started with Daily 5, and now it's kind of modified into our center wheel and the 5 centers that I use, so it's kind of a modified version.
Do you grade everything from centers?
No, it's just for them to practice. They want me to see it. They kind of walk by and show me their work, and I'm like, oh, good job. I know the kids who I need to look a little bit closer at their work, and then it goes home.
How do you group your kids for centers?
They're almost the same as my guided reading group. It always just kind of works out that way. But really, the center groups are more skill based. So I'm looking at some data, kind of some informal observation, and grouping them by how they're doing with CVC words or how they're doing with sight words, and that's how I kind of group them. But pretty much they align with my guided reading groups.
What are QR codes?
QR codes are these little codes you scan with an iPad, an iPhone, an Android tablet, It's linked to a document off in the cloud somewhere. So really the kids think it's magic. You scan the code and a document's going to show up, a picture, a word, a number. So you can use it for any kind of skills. If you're curious about them, I have a couple of QR code products on TPT and a couple of freebies on my blog. So you can check those out to see how they work. They're great for differentiation. Kids love them.
You can get to the blog easily by going to the kindergartensmorgasbord.com. When you do centers, do you do math and literacy centers at the same time or different times?
Literacy centers are in the morning during literacy block. Math centers are in the afternoon during math block.
How do you transition from centers to whole group?
With our cleanup song. And so when the mustache song comes on, everybody cleans up and we meet back on the carpet.
How do you make them do that quickly?
They're trained. They're very well trained. They're little robots. So it's something that we've trained and practiced for from the first day of school. And so they know the expectation is when that song comes on, they clean up and they have to be ready to move on and on the carpet before the song is over. So they know they have about 3 minutes.
Do you do STEM or STEAM activities with your students?
On Fridays, we do Mad Science. So every Friday we do hands-on science experiments. And then science is integrated into our literacy block most days.
You touched on this a second ago, but how do you keep up with assessment for your centers?
I don't assess them. All of my assessment is done with ESGI. Centers are not for a grade or for assessment. That's just for practice.
How do you keep your room organized?
I don't. No, I do. I try. So everything is labeled. Label everything. Make sure everything has a place. Teach the kids where everything goes. All of my centers are sorted by skill. So in my closet, I've got tubs for every skill. And so all of the adding centers are in a tub. All of the letter centers are in a tub. The beginning sound centers are in tubs. And then all of the community supplies are organized and color code everything.
What is an early math with someone game that you introduce at the beginning of the school year?
Say that again?
What is an early math with someone game that you introduce at the beginning of the school year?
Math with someone? Early in the year, we do a lot of 10 frames. And so the kids work together to build 10 frames and make 10 frames. We also did a lot of number matching and making sets and, one-to-one counting, and the kids work together. You could do simple matching games, give them, index cards, and they have to find their partner.
What recommendations would you have for who has limited access to technology in their classroom?
Go old school. Every Tuesday in my classroom, we have Tech-Free Tuesday. There's no technology allowed other than the smartboard for our whole group instruction, but go old school. I think technology in the classroom is great, but I don't think it should be what we use all day, every day. Our kids get enough screen time outside of school, so I think limiting their screen time at school is okay. So go old school. I know technology is great and fun, and like I said, I'm a huge fan of Alive Studios and their augmented reality. But the kids love smelly markers and magnets and blocks and paper and crayons, and so use those things to make learning fun. And just go old school.
Do you do any other tests, like standardized tests?
We do Ames Web 3 times a year as our benchmark, and that's it. We do CFAs every Friday, common formative assessments, and those are almost always with ESGI, but we do some paper pencil stuff too, just so that they're used to it. They've had that experience.
Just got a new student today who doesn't know how to write his name or letters or sounds. What would you do? This child is from a local district but has missed lots of days at his previous school. I
had that same experience last year. I had a little boy who, I think over the course of the year, he was only in school for 30 days. So he was so far behind. Unfortunately, they would not let me retain him. So I spent a lot of time working with him one-on-one, and just started at the beginning, working on letters and writing his name. And every day one-on-one. For centers, he had his own basket of center work that he was working on, and it was all letter identification. And then I got a couple of people in the building to volunteer and come and pull him a couple of times a week and give him some more one-on-one instruction. One-on-one time with him, and start at the beginning and just like you would with the whole class at the beginning of school, and try to get him moved along as much as possible. And just know that he probably is not going to catch up, and that's okay. Just give him everything you can in the next few weeks.
What procedure do you use to keep the kids from getting up and disturbing you while you're doing guided reading?
I have a stoplight. So it's a lamp. Took the lampshade off, put in a red light bulb. You can get them at Lowe's or Walmart. And so the kids know that if my red light is on, that means stop. It's very visual. The kids are all familiar with red light, green light. Red means stop. So they know the red light means stop unless they are hurt, in danger, or dead. Those are the only 3 reasons they can interrupt me if that light is on. If they feel sick, they know they have to go to the bathroom, because if they get sick on me, I'm going to get sick on them, and that's not going to be pretty. And you can go to the blog and search for stoplight, and that you can see pictures of it and what it looks like.
All right, that concludes our lightning round. We have some more questions that we weren't able to get to. I'm going to do my best to compile those, and maybe we can try to get those answered here in the chat here in a few minutes. So
Okay.
if you've asked a question and we haven't gotten to it, when we go off, when the video cuts off, we'll still go ahead and answer the question here in the chat. So just hang tight if we haven't answered your question, and I'll do my best to make sure we get to it as the bugs attack Greg over here.
It's bad. We're going to have to go inside and answer the questions in the chat. I'm tired of the bugs. They're getting in my hair. I'm surprised they haven't been in my mouth.
Right. So that's why we'll cut off the video chat and we'll go in. And
They're getting bigger.
Okay, so let's do the Alive Studio.
So again, a huge shout out to our friends at Alive Studios. Visit their website and you can see exactly what Math Alive and Letters Alive looks like. You can, on my Facebook page, you can see several videos of us using Math Alive in the classroom. Again, it's augmented reality software, which basically the easiest way to explain it is 3D without the glasses. It's amazing technology. Alive Studios is the first company to put augmented reality into classrooms as a resource on this scale. You seriously need to check it out. You need to have it in your classroom. I cannot speak highly enough of how incredible this software is. Not only is it cool as far as technology goes, but it really is making an impact in my classroom with instruction. My kids have grown tremendously in both literacy and math, and I give a lot of credit to Alive Studios and their software for that. It's a tremendous asset in the classroom. So you need to check it out, and you need to try to get it in your classroom.
All right, and tonight's winner is.
So this is a huge prize. This is almost an $800 value. So somebody is going to win an amazing piece of technology for your classroom. So whoever this is, I am super excited for you, and I can't wait to hear what you think about this.
Yes, we want to know what you think about it. We want to see pictures of you using it. Anything you can show us, we would love to see it.
Yes. And again, Alive Studios, you guys are awesome. I know Cynthia and LA are here in the chat. We love you guys, and thank you so much for this awesome prize.
All right, Rafflecopter is doing the drawing. And the winner is Beth Matuzewicz.
Beth Matuzewicz.
No idea if I pronounced that correctly, but I think I did a pretty good job.
You want to spell it?
Matuzewicz. So,
okay, Beth, I have to know if you're here. Number one, we need to know so you can claim your prize. But I also have to know if your kids call you that or if they call you something else.
Exactly. That's a good question.
Woo, that's a doozy. So Beth, if you are here, please let Jason know in the chat so that we can make sure to hook you up with the Live Studios and get you your prize. So Beth
Matuzewicz. I'm trying to type it in the chat too. W-I-C-Z. Miss Class 2012 says her first name is Beth.
Are you Beth Matuz?
Oh, it is her. It's Miss Class 2012. She's been participating in the chat all night.
Yay!
In the chat.
Well, congratulations, Beth. I am so excited for you. We will get you in touch with the Live Studios so that they can get your information and they'll ship you your software.
I've got your email address here, Beth, so I will send you an email. I'll also email Live Studios to give them your email address, and they'll be in touch with you on claiming your prize.
You're going to love it. I'm so excited for you. It's amazing software, and it's making a huge impact in my classroom and in classrooms all over the country. So if you're looking for something new, to bring some excitement and really engage your kids, definitely check out Alive Studios.
I just asked Beth if we butchered her last name. I'm very curious to know.
I know. I wonder what the kids call her.
I bet it's Matuzovics. All right. Anything else that we need to talk about tonight?
Again, if you're interested in coming to our conference, you can head over to the blog and check out all of the information.
Did we say how much it was?
It's $100 for the day. That includes your breakfast, your lunch, and all of your materials for your make and take.
And all 4 sessions.
All 4 sessions. And we're working with some companies to get some freebies and some swag. So you're gonna really I think we'll have lots of fun. I think it's a great value.
We don't have the lunch menu planned yet, but I hope to have multiple different options. It's gonna be like a grab and go type lunch. We want you to go back to your tables and sit with your fellow teachers and have discussions. Our plan is to do discussion topics on the projector on the screen, just to keep you guys interacting with each other, learning, gaining ideas. We want it to be a fun lunch. Of course, you're welcome to leave for lunch and come back as well if that's what you want to do.
You might be tired of hearing me talk, so you might leave.
Greg's not going to be talking during lunch. I'm going to make sure he doesn't do that. He's going to go and rest. But we would love for you guys to stay and talk to each other.
Yeah, so you can get all the information on the blog. And as always, there are tons of freebies on the blog, tons of ideas. And as always, if you need me, if you have questions, you can always email me. My email is kindersmorgie@gmail.com. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Periscope, we'll try to do more Periscopes. I'll try to do more live videos from my classroom. So if there's ever anything I can do to help, or if you have any questions, just please let me know. And again, a huge thank you to ESGI for their continued support and their friendship. And a huge shout out to our friends at Alive Studios for sponsoring tonight's show. We love them. They're fantastic people. They have an amazing product for the classroom, so make sure to check that out. And we have to give a big shout out to the Mister for taking care of us and moderating us and keeping us going and keeping all those questions straight, even though he did ask about a 3rd projector.
I would have sworn it said 3rd projector because I was thinking, like a projector for the smart board, another projector, and then a projector. I don't know what I was. So yes, Beth, I see you. I answered you in the chat too, just so you know that yes, we see you. We know you're here. You're going to get your prize for sure. No, I don't teach, Angela. There was a question about hotels for the conference. There's a bunch right there in the area.
Literally within like 5 minutes of each other. So
even within walking distance to the 4 Point Sheridan where it's going to be held. But I'm also going to be sending an email out to everyone who is registered for the conference with links to all of the hotels in the area. I'm going to give a link to the Holiday Inn, a link to the Hampton Inn, so that in case 4 Points is sold out, you can check those others out. So if you've registered, you're going to get an email with those links. If you haven't registered, shoot us a message on Facebook. If you want more information about hotels in the area, if you just want to know before you even register, I'll be happy to answer those for you.
Yeah. So if you're thinking about it, go ahead and get registered. Like I said, we're half full, so want to get registered before we run out of spaces.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. So thank you guys so much for joining us again. We'll be back next month on the 3rd Wednesday of the month. I'm not sure what that date is exactly. Let me just put my calendar up and I'll look. But as always, just thank you so much for being here and for being in the chat and asking your questions and sharing your ideas and you're having great conversations in the chat and for supporting each other. Teachers, I think we have the hardest job in the world, but I think we have the best job in the world. And I think it's so important that we take care of each other and support each other and lift each other up and encourage each other. And I said this the other day in a Periscope, I think, but we need to make sure that we're the safe place for our coworkers and our colleagues, so they know that they can come to us for help and support and ideas. And even if they need a place to vent, make sure that you're that space for them in your building, and to your teacher friends online. Let's take care of each other. Let's love each other, and let's support each other, especially as we wrap up this school year for the next couple of months. We know it gets crazy busy and stressful. So just remember all of the stuff that goes on and all of that paperwork and the politics, none of that matters at the end of the day, because we're all in this for one reason, and that's for the kids. And so it's all about the kids. And so if you're getting stressed out and bogged down, just stop and focus on the kids, and remember that we need our kids as much as they need us. And so let's spend the next couple of months really focused on the kids, celebrating the end of the year, and getting in as much teaching and learning and fun as we can as we wrap up this year, and send them on to the next grade. It's crazy that this year is already over. This year has flown by. So thank you again for joining us. Take care of each other, and if there's anything we can do for you, please let us know. Bye, everybody.